types of people you want to have in your life is pretty much self-explanatory. But who are the types of people that we need to avoid? I'm going to share with you 3 types of people to avoid in your life or to minimize contact, because people do have a negative influence on us if they are possessing negative traits. I'm going to share with you the 3 primary traits, but we need to understand what are the opposite of those traits. The opposite of those traits are the people that we want to be, also the people that we want to be around. And it is important to be careful not to be around people who can possess traits that are so negative. Not only could they have an effect on you, but also have an effect on the way you envision life, and it will affect your future decisions. And of course, practical tips at the end. To help us understand the Mishnah that I'm about to read in Pirkei Avot, we have to understand 2 different types of people who are completely at opposite spectrums, which is Avraham and Bilam. Bilam was a non-Jewish prophet, and we know that Abraham Avinu is our forefather. So I'm going to quote the Mishnah, and then we're going to take it from there. Whoever possesses the following 3 traits is a student of our father Avraham, and whoever possesses the opposite 3 traits is a student of the wicked Bilam. The students of our father Avraham have a good eye, a humble spirit, and an undemanding soul. The students of the wicked Bilam have an evil eye, a haughty spirit, and a greedy soul. What is the difference between the students of our father Avraham and the students of the wicked Bilam? The students of our father Avraham benefit in this world and inherit the world to come. As it is stated, endow those who love me with substance, and I will fill their treasuries. The students of the wicked Bilam inherit Gehenom and descend into the pit of destruction. As it is stated, and you, God, shall cast them into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men, they shall not attain half their days, and I shall trust in you. Yehuda ben Tema would say, be bold as a leopard, light as an eagle, quick as a deer, and strong as a lion, to do the will of your Father in heaven. He would also say, the brazen to Gehenom, the bashful to the Garden of Eden. May it be your will, Lord our God and God of our fathers, that the holy temple be rebuilt in our days, and grant us our share in your Torah. This is written in Pirkei Avot 5:19-12. -20. So to help us understand this Mishnah, we're going to contrast 2 types of people, which are Avraham Avinu and Bilam. The Mishnah contrasts these 2 people because they're completely opposites of each other. Avraham, our forefather, was an accomplished person, versus Bilam, a non-Jewish prophet. He had capabilities which were comparable to Moshe Rabbeinu, but he took a different path. In other words, he was capable of so much greatness, but he used his qualities to make unfortunate decisions. So what are the 3 prerequisites for kindness? 3 prerequisites for kindness. We may attribute kindness to Avraham Avinu. However, that is not the attribute that the Mishnah focuses on. How it focuses on 3 attributes that a person must have prerequisites to kindness, which is, number 1, a good eye, number 2, a being humble, and number 3, an undemanding soul. So what do we mean by these 3? A good eye. When a person has a good eye, he's not jealous of others. This person is caring about other people's honor, being happy for other people's successes. So what do we do when we focus on the negative? When we have not a good eye, right? We are judgmental and we are jealous. So we want to focus on having a good eye. That's character trait number 1. Being humble is number 2. Being humble is being humble towards man and towards God. To understand that I make mistakes. To understand that I'm sorry if I make mistakes. To be quickly apologetic to others. A person who is flexible, who's apologetic, not because they want to be stepped on and they don't want to be acknowledged, but because they know they make mistakes. And people who are very arrogant, it's hard for them to apologize. It's hard for them to see life through other people's lenses. Because they always want to be right, and they should be heard, and they make sense. Remember, everybody makes sense to themselves. But the way to make great relationships with people is focus on being smart versus focus on being right. You could talk now until tomorrow about all the reasons why you're so right, but peace at the end is what Hashem wants. So the third character trait is an undemanding soul, exercising restraint and self-control, not to be demanding, not to want so much from others, not to be greedy. So these three attributes free a person from egocentric desires, meaning desires that focus only on myself, and they are prerequisites to kindness towards others. So Bilam, who was the opposite side of that spectrum, had an evil eye. He was jealous and hated other people's successes. When Balak asked him to come and curse the Jews, he was arrogant. He thought that it was beneath him, beneath his dignity, to go with the officers that Balak had sent. He was also greedy. He was not a happy person. And he doesn't achieve his expectations, and he always wants more. Remember, a greedy person, no matter how rich they are, no matter how much they have, they just want more. So how do we develop the right attitude towards having these attributes? A person has a good eye, humble spirit, and an undemanding soul, has the right attitude. This person also enjoys this world, as we learn from the Mishnah. So we do not have to give up this world and merit the next world. So Hashem wants us to enjoy the pleasures of this world. He wants us to enjoy its beauty. He wants us to enjoy good times with our loved ones, with our families, with our friends. He doesn't want us to completely remove all the pleasures in the world, but to take those pleasures and use it to do mitzvot, use it for its purpose. So this person enjoys this world, and actually someone who's able to rise above his egocentric desires, feelings about themselves that are just so high, gets the world to come. He also enjoys the world more. Remember, putting other people into our lives, their needs, their desires, above our own. It doesn't mean being a doormat again, but it means that your honor, your respect is important to me. To minimize the respect we want from other people, but give people the respect and the honor. If they're sensitive to having this type of layout in your house, if they want you to serve things this way or prefer things that way, or prefer certain things when you're hosting, for example, it's so important that you want to cater to your guests. You want to make it comfortable, right? You're not going to close on a hall. Let's say you're planning a wedding or some kind of simcha. You're not going to close on a hall if that hall is not flexible to your needs. You want to be able to close on a hall who is accommodating in every single way, in the type of food, in the type of setting, the environment, right? How flexible they are, how attentive they are. You want to be that kind of a host in your house as well. So developing that right attitude, their needs, their desires, their wants. I should respect the honor and respect the dignity of others. So what does that look like? What does that look like? That means calling this person, even though they never call you back, or even though they never just call you just because to ask you how you're doing, or if you're not given the best seat at the party, to have a good time anyway and rejoice in the occasion. If I'm lacking respect from my children, then I need to ask myself, how do I respect them? Do I have a good connection with them? Or how do I talk with them when I need something? How do I reestablish that relationship, right? Constantly asking ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect from your children, but at the same time, you don't demand it in a way where you lose yourself as a parent, where you demand it, but yet you don't show that you're respectful back. So we know that some people are blessed with so much wealth, honor, and respect because they have so many initials to their name. They're so incredibly wealthy. However, it doesn't mean that they are happy. Yes, they could be happy, but But if the mindset is focused on having more and gaining more honor and prestige as they step on other people's toes, we see that in the political world, right? They want to convince the people how what they're gonna do, how much they're gonna do, but they try to, look better than their other political candidate. And it's fun to watch, right? The society loves to watch us, loves how we put other people down, how one candidate puts the other one down just to look better because they have more initials to their name, or they're more wealthy or more experienced, or they have other people backing them up. So that's not real honor, that's not real respect, and that's not using what I have, my riches or my status, to serve the world, right? When the curtain comes down, that political party is over, it's finished running, or it's finished serving the country, and that's it. They just become a regular person. But a person who honors other people, they're always admired. They're always respected. They have dignity and they respect others. So it's important not to step on other people's toes. So people who are rich doesn't mean that they're happy, even though they could be. Instead, their mind is focused on getting more, having more. And with all their riches, they are unhappy in this world as well. And they will definitely be unhappy in the next world unless they make teshuvah. They make serious changes in their lives. So how do we overcome laziness to develop the right attitude? As long as we're living, it's a lifelong process to develop these good traits. The good traits of having a good eye, of being humble, of having an undemanding soul. This is a lifelong process. This is a muscle we need to exercise, and the way we look at life, it should be practiced every single day. It's the way we monitor ourselves, reflect on life. It shows in our actions, in our attitudes. We develop the right attitude, and it is a lifelong process, but you can accomplish this in 4 steps. As the Mishnah teaches us, be bold. Number 2, be light. Number 3, be swift. And number 4, be strong. So what does it mean? It says, be bold as a leopard. A leopard is not as strong as other animals, yet it is bold. It takes risks. It undertakes tasks that seem to be too much for it. So you want to be bold. You want to take risks. You want to try new things. You want to challenge yourself. Number 2 is be light. Be light as an eagle. An eagle can fly so high in the sky. It soars high. And if it's needed, it will change directions pretty easily, pretty quickly, right? We should stand up easily, changing direction and ignoring bad choices, ignoring temptations, right? A person is tempted to do the wrong thing. We all have these challenges in our own lives, in our own ways, but we should be light as an eagle, quickly realizing that this is not right. Sometimes it comes from a criticism of somebody else. Somebody tells us something, this is not how we act. This is not a person of your stature who should act this way, or this is not like you. Or if we hear those hints, a humble person, and a person who's reflective says, you know what? Maybe you're right. Doesn't mean that everybody who's critical is right. That's not necessarily true. But to be able to hear, we said in previous videos that to be able to hear is the biggest compliment a person can get. Meaning they are able to hear criticism and able to decipher and reflect, what do I need to change? Do I need to make a change? Number 3 is be swift. Be swift as a deer. You should capture the moment of inspiration and make a change. If the inspiration is not instantly acted upon, it will probably disappear. When we're inspired, we have to do at least one thing to make sure that we're actually taking this inspiration and making some kind of reality out of it, putting it into action. For example, we attend the shiur, we attend the lecture. We need to make a decision to make a change of action, some kind of change. So let's say you got inspired by a certain topic, right? Maybe it's the topic of prayer. So there's 2 things a person needs to do when they're making a change. First, number 1, they're learning about prayer, right? And number 2, they're actually praying. Maybe they're praying a few minutes a day, and then hopefully it'll enhance as long as you're putting meaning into what you're doing. And also you're reading about it, you're understanding what is prayer all about. That will actually inspire you to make true good changes. Of course, they also need to come in small increments. Don't try to change right away, really quickly. It could happen, but don't stream for that goal. So another example is just to learn 5 minutes a day on a topic and make it consistent. It definitely something I've taken upon myself recently, and it has worked. Reading from a book that I've read before, or just like really delving into the topic. And I just told myself 5 minutes a day, I log it in, and it's really, really helpful. It's not a long time. It's 5 minutes, but it's important to take that inspiration and put it into action. Number 4 is be strong. Be strong as a lion. A lion is in full control of how strong it is, full control of its strength. We must use our energy, our talents, our abilities to doing what Hashem wants us to do with determination, with confidence. Why is it that salespeople are so good at what they do? Because why? They believe in the product. Even if the product is not really a good product. The fact that the product, they convince you that it's good. They don't stop talking, right? They give you a lot of attention. They smile. They're confident in the product. And that's how we need to be. As a lion, we know of our abilities. The lion knows how strong he is. He uses his full potential, his full strength to do his job. So we need to use our gifts, our talents to serve Hashem to its fullest. Hashem gave us our gifts and our talents to serve him. They have nothing to do with the person. The person did not earn their gifts and talents, did not use their gifts and talents, meaning like they didn't create them. It has nothing to do with that. Hashem granted it to us to use for a purpose. Now, a person unfortunately can turn out to be like Bilam, using his great character traits and turning it to the negative. For example, a person can use their gift of speech in order to inspire people or in order to hurt people. So you can use your gifts in any way that you want, but we need Hashem's help and clarity and guidance, siyata d'shmaya, to use our gifts properly. And it's very humbling knowing that the gifts are not your own, that Hashem entrusted you with these gifts and talents to serve him. So let's say your determination, your goal is to be a calm mother. So what are you doing? You're like a lion. You're trying to be a very calm mother. You tell yourself, okay, now I'm going to have less on the to-do list. I will make time to meditate, or I will make time for self-care. I will eat healthier, because when you eat healthier, you're naturally much more calmer. You're much more focused. Maybe you're eating before a little bit or a lot before the family eats for dinner. This way you could attend to other people's needs and you could stay calmer. Maybe being realistic with time and your expectations. A lot of us ladies, we like to cram everything in, cram a lot in, and we are not realistic with how much time there is in the day. We put a lot on ourselves and then we get nervous, right? So we want to work on that calmness. You want to work on putting all your strength and determination into accomplishing that goal. The Mishnah concludes that by asking Hashem to grant us our share in the Torah, every person has a unique purpose to fulfill in life. Now, every person also has a certain area of Torah where he is going to just sparkle and shine. You're interested in different aspects of the Torah, learn about it, delve more into it, make it your own. That's why in every generation, we learn Torah from people of our generation. Why? Because they speak to us differently than people of past generations, which we could also learn. But you really shine by putting your interest into the Torah. So delve into the topics that you enjoy and serve Hashem in that way. Once we have dedicated our lives, ourselves, to developing the right attitude and directing our character traits for the good, we can ask Hashem to help us find our part in the Torah. So we're wrapping it up. There's three types of people to avoid. Number 1, the evil person. Number 2, the haughty person. And number 3, the greedy person. So by evil person, they're talking negative. They're seeing the world as dark, pessimistic. They're judgmental, right? They're constantly judging other people negatively. They make excuses for themselves and not others. Number 2, haughty people. They're very proud of themselves. They attribute their success to their own efforts. Now we know success and outcome comes from Hashem. A person does not determine their outcome. You can take the right steps in life, read the right books, meet the right people, and just if it's not basher, if it's not meant to be, that Hashem wants you to take that route, it won't work out. But if it will, you may not even meet the right people, or push the right buttons or read the right books, and it could all turn out for the best, for your success. I'm sorry. So, not to be haughty. It's really important. So number 3 is greedy. Always wanting more and being jealous. A greedy person, no matter how much they have, they want more. Practical tips. I'm going to give you 2. Number 1 is ask yourself and reflect. Which of these traits do I find easy, and which of them do you want to develop within yourself? A good eye, being humble, or being undemanding. And number 2, when you're going through a situation, ask yourself, what does Hashem want me to do right now? Maybe sometimes He just wants you not to judge, to have that good eye, or to humble yourself, or to be undemanding. And it's important for us to be reflective, introspective, appreciating the insights of Gila Ross from the book Living Beautifully, as well as my own, Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.